Did you know, after the age of 60, the average person loses up to 15% of their leg strength in just 5 years, without even noticing it? Even more shocking. According to the American Geriatrics Society, seniors lose 1 to 3% of muscle mass every single year, and it doesn't matter if you're eating well or staying active, it still happens. Quietly, steadily. Until one day, you struggle to stand from your chair, you push your knees to lift yourself, you climb stairs, and it feels like you're lifting weights. And simply walking across the living room feels like crossing a mountain. Most people just chalk it up to aging. But here's the truth. This isn't just getting old, it's a clinical condition, an early sign of age-related muscle loss or sarcopenia. And by the time it becomes obvious, it's already robbed you of balance, independence, and strength. But here's the good news. This can be reversed. Clinical studies now show that by restoring just 3 essential vitamins, seniors can start rebuilding leg strength in just a matter of days. No intense workouts, no expensive therapies, just the right nutrients at the right time. And in this video, I'll walk you through the 3 critical vitamins almost every senior is missing, the real reasons behind weak, heavy legs, and how to rebuild your strength safely, naturally, and fast. This isn't hype. It's supported by research, real-life results, and decades of clinical experience. So before we dive in, do something powerful for your future health. Like this video, share it with someone who needs it, and don't forget to subscribe to Elderly Health Tips. Now, let's begin. Let's start with the first vitamin we're focusing on today, vitamin D3. What if I told you that the pain in your knees, the heaviness in your legs, and even your poor sleep might all be connected to just one missing nutrient? That nutrient is vitamin D3, and most seniors are running dangerously low on it. Vitamin D3 has long been known for its role in helping the body absorb calcium and strengthen bones. But for seniors, thinking of it as just a bone vitamin is a huge mistake. Vitamin D3 is actually a prohormone, a precursor to a hormone, and it helps regulate your entire neuromuscular system, including your muscular system, your peripheral nervous system, and your skeletal structure. Calling D3 the master switch isn't just a catchy phrase. From a neurological and muscular standpoint, vitamin D3 helps regulate how muscle cells handle calcium, which is essential for proper muscle contraction, so you can stand, walk, or climb stairs, efficient nerve signaling, so your brain and limbs stay in sync, and reduced stress on joints by ensuring muscles pull their weight. Many older adults assume their knee pain, weak legs, or poor balance are just part of aging. But in more than 60% of my patients, what they're really experiencing is a breakdown in the nerve-muscle connection, driven by a vitamin D3 deficiency. Specifically, motor neurons fire slower, reaction time drops, you trip more easily, muscle contraction weakens, you start using your hands to push off your knees. Balance becomes unstable due to poor coordination between the vestibular system, inner ear, vision, and postural muscles. A 2015 study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that seniors with D3 levels below 20 nanograms per milliliter were 2.1 times more likely to lose balance than those with adequate levels. When your muscles aren't doing their job, your joints have to pick up the slack. And that's when you start to feel knee pain just from standing, hip discomfort climbing stairs, heel pain, especially first thing in the morning. This is why so many of my older patients tell me, "Doc, I'm not even walking that much, but just standing wears me out." If vitamin D3 deficiency goes unchecked, a dangerous cycle begins. weak muscles, less movement, faster muscle loss, joint pain, instability, falls. And that's not the worst of it. A study published in the Journal of Gerontology linked chronic D3 deficiency with lower bone density in the hips, higher risk of fractures, loss of fast-twitch muscle fibers, poor reaction time, peripheral nerve inflammation, tingling, burning, or numbness in the feet and legs. Now let me tell you about someone I've worked with, Mr. Daniel L., age 68, a retired high school coach in Texas. He was always active, even played pickleball twice a week. But over the last 6 months, he noticed something odd. He had to push off the armrest to stand up. Climbing stairs took twice as long. He even slipped in his kitchen, thankfully without serious injury. He came to my clinic worried he was just getting old. But after running blood work, his vitamin D level came back at 14 nanograms per milliliter. That's severely deficient. The optimal range is 30 to 50 nanograms per milliliter. We put him on 2,000 international units of D3 daily with breakfast. Within 2 weeks, he was back to standing up without using his hands. And in 1 month, he told me, "Doc, it's like someone turned the lights back on in my legs." According to guidelines from the Endocrine Society, most adults over 65 should aim for 800 to 2,000 IU of vitamin D3 daily. And yes, it should be vitamin D3, cholecalciferol, not D2. D3 is the form your body naturally produces and absorbs far better. Also, it should be taken with a fat-containing meal. Why? Because D3 is a fat-soluble vitamin, meaning it needs oil, avocado, nuts, or eggs to be properly absorbed. Taking it on an empty stomach? You might be wasting your supplement. The second vitamin, vitamin B1. If your legs feel weak, your calves cramp often, and you're constantly tired, even after rest, you could be missing a critical nutrient that fuels every single muscle contraction. Vitamin B1. Vitamin B1, or thiamine, acts like the spark plug of your engine. It takes carbohydrates, your rice, oats, bread, and turns them into ATP, the basic form of energy your muscles and nerves run on. No thiamine, no spark. That means no smooth muscle movement, no quick recovery, and no real endurance. You might think B1 deficiency is rare in the developed world, but studies tell a different story. A report from the National Institutes of Health, NIH, shows that older adults are among the top at-risk groups for thiamine deficiency, especially those with heart failure, many take diuretics, type 2 diabetes, common users of metformin, long-term use of acid-reducing drugs like PPAs, diets low in whole grains, beans, or meats. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Medicine, 2020, found that up to 25% of hospitalized seniors in the U.S. had borderline or deficient thiamine levels, often without being diagnosed. So what does thiamine deficiency look like in real life? It starts subtly. You feel low energy, legs that feel heavy, or cramps that come out of nowhere. Breathing gets harder even after mild effort, what we call exertional fatigue. Eventually, you just stop moving as much. Not from pain, but from pure exhaustion. A 2021 study from Tokyo University of Agriculture and Technology analyzed over 600 Japanese adults aged 65 to 85. They found that 30.4% were deficient in thiamine. Those with low levels were more likely to have slower walking speed, reduced grip strength, and report lower physical performance overall. After just 4 weeks of B1 supplementation, participants reported improved energy, longer walking distance before fatigue, fewer leg cramps, and better recovery after movement. Let me tell you about Ruth, a 76-year-old widow from Kansas City. She came to see me last year, worried she was becoming lazy. Her words, not mine. She said, "I used to walk to the grocery store. Now I stop halfway and need a bench. My legs feel like cinder blocks." She wasn't eating poorly. She wasn't depressed. But she was on metformin and had been drinking 1 to 2 glasses of wine each night. Her blood work showed low thiamine, right around 50 nanomoles per liter, which is below the safe threshold of 70 to 180 nanomoles per liter. I started her on a 100 milligram B1 supplement, along with magnesium to help absorption. Within 10 days, her walking improved. By week 3, she told me, "I made it through the whole supermarket and didn't stop once." Why older adults lose B1 so easily? Let's get into the why now. Aging guts absorb thiamine less efficiently. The intestinal lining thins with age, and stomach acid levels drop. Without enough acid, B1 isn't absorbed properly. Many common medications deplete thiamine. Diuretics, like furosemide or HCTZ, flush it out through urine. Metformin reduces absorption in the small intestine. Chronic use of antibiotics can disturb gut bacteria that help thiamine production. Alcohol, even small amounts, directly impairs B1 metabolism. Diets low in legumes, seeds, pork, and whole grains also increase risk, especially in seniors who avoid carbs or follow restrictive diets. How much vitamin B1 do seniors need? According to the Institute of Medicine, IOM, the daily requirement for adults over 50 is about 1.2 milligrams per day for men, 1.1 milligrams per day for women. But here's the thing. Those are minimums to prevent deficiency, not necessarily optimal levels for recovery or therapeutic effect. In clinical practice, 50 to 100 milligrams per day of supplemental B1 is commonly used short-term to support energy, especially in seniors with fatigue, medication use, or muscle loss. Thiamine is water-soluble, meaning your body flushes out the extra, so it's generally safe at moderate doses. But always check with your doctor first. Practical tips for boosting. B1 naturally. Eat more foods rich in B1. Pork, sunflower seeds, beans and lentils, oats and brown rice. Consider a B-complex supplement if you're on multiple meds or eating less than usual. Limit alcohol. Even small amounts can interfere with B1 usage. The final vitamin we're focusing on, vitamin B12. 1 in every 4 adults over 60 has dangerously low vitamin B12, and most of them have no idea. But the signs are right in front of them. Weak legs, numb feet, brain fog, and unexplained fatigue. Vitamin B12, also known as cobalamin, is essential for the health of your nerves, red blood cells, and brain. It helps your body build myelin, the protective sheath around nerves that keeps signals fast and accurate, like insulation on an electrical wire. It also plays a vital role in DNA synthesis, energy metabolism, memory, mood, and concentration, nerve-to-muscle communication. That's why it's often referred to as the bridge between your brain and your body, especially your legs and feet. When B12 levels drop too low, the nerves begin to misfire, or fail to fire at all. The result? Delayed reaction times, tingling feet, muscle weakness, poor balance, and mental decline. Let's start with the data. According to the U.S. National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, NHANES, up to 20% of adults over age 60 have marginal or deficient B12 levels, and among people over 75, that number climbs above 25%. Yet many of these cases go undetected. Why? Because early signs, like fatigue, forgetfulness, or foot tingling, are often mistaken for normal aging. A 2013 study in the New England Journal of Medicine emphasized that B12 deficiency is underdiagnosed, especially in the elderly, due to its subtle and slow-developing symptoms. The Oxford Project to Investigate Memory and Aging, Optima, found that older adults with low vitamin B12 walked slower, had poorer balance, were twice as likely to fall within a year. In this cohort of 1,000 seniors over 65, researchers also discovered significant shrinkage in brain volume among those with long-term B12 deficiency. Yes, actual brain shrinkage. That's how essential B12 is to healthy aging. Let me share a case I had last year. Helen, 72, a retired piano teacher from Oregon, came in complaining of two things. Her legs felt wobbly and untrustworthy, especially on stairs. Her mind felt slower. She forgot words and often felt like she was in a fog. She wasn't depressed, no recent injuries. Her blood pressure and heart were fine. But she'd been taking omeprazole, a stomach acid reducer, for over 5 years. She also followed a low-meat diet and drank very little milk. Her lab work showed vitamin B12 at 198 picograms per milliliter. The cutoff for deficiency is typically 200 picograms per milliliter, but neurologic symptoms can occur well above that threshold. We started her on 1,000 micrograms of methylcobalamin per day, sublingual, under the tongue. By her second follow-up, her energy had returned, her balance improved, and she told me, "Doc, I can carry the laundry basket down the stairs again without holding my breath. Why do older adults lose B12 so easily?" There are several key reasons why seniors are more vulnerable. Reduced stomach acid with age. The body needs hydrochloric acid to release B12 from food. After age 60, acid production drops significantly. Use of acid-suppressing medications, drugs like omeprazole, lansoprazole, or ranitidine, used for reflux or ulcers, inhibit B12 absorption. Medications like metformin, used for type 2 diabetes, metformin has been shown in multiple studies, including a 2021 review in Diabetes Care, to reduce B12 levels over time. Low intake from diet vegetarians, vegans, and seniors who eat less meat, dairy, or eggs are often at risk, especially if appetite has declined or chewing becomes difficult. Gastrointestinal issues, conditions like atrophic gastritis, Crohn's disease, or history of gastric bypass surgery significantly reduce B12 absorption. How much B12 is enough? The recommended daily intake for older adults is 2.4 micrograms per day, but that's only for maintenance, assuming perfect absorption. In reality, most seniors don't absorb well. That's why high-dose supplementation is often used for prevention and treatment. The most effective form is methylcobalamin, the active version your body can use immediately. I usually suggest 500 to 1,000 micrograms per day taken under the tongue. Safe for most adults, even at higher doses may be taken indefinitely, especially if you're not absorbing from food. If someone has neurological symptoms, I'll recommend testing blood levels every 6 to 12 months to monitor recovery. Practical tips for seniors: eat more. B12-rich foods like eggs, beef and chicken, liver, one of the best sources, fish, especially tuna, salmon, sardines, fortified cereals, and nutritional yeast. Take B12 supplements, especially if you're on acid reducers or metformin. Don't rely on multivitamins alone. Most only contain 6 to 25 micrograms, which isn't enough if you already have symptoms. Now that you understand why these 3 vitamins matter, let's talk about how to take them the right way. For the best absorption, I usually recommend starting your morning with vitamin B1 and D3 right after breakfast, especially if your meal includes eggs, yogurt, or avocado. These foods contain healthy fats that help D3 absorb properly, and they pair well with B1 to support your energy early in the day. Then around lunchtime, take your vitamin B12, ideally after a meal with fish or something protein-rich like steamed tofu. Just one important note. Try to avoid taking any of these vitamins with coffee or tea, since they can block absorption. And if you're using a multivitamin, be sure to check the label carefully to make sure the doses of B1, D3, and B12 are actually high enough to support nerve and muscle health. A little planning makes a big difference, and your body will thank you for it. Safety tips for taking B1, D3, and B12, especially for older adults. Before starting any supplements, it's important to know, more isn't always better. These 3 vitamins are generally safe, especially for older adults, but there are still a few things to watch out for. Let's start with vitamin B1. It's water-soluble, which means your body flushes out what it doesn't need. So it's very safe, even at higher doses like 50 to 100 milligrams per day. Just make sure to take it with food to avoid mild stomach upset. And if you're on diuretics or metformin, talk to your doctor, since those meds can deplete B1 over time. For vitamin D3, the key is balance. Most people over 60 need 800 to 2,000 IU per day, especially if they don't get much sun. But too much D3, like over 4,000 IU daily for long periods, can raise calcium levels and affect your kidneys. That's why it's smart to get your blood levels checked once a year, especially if you're taking other supplements with calcium or magnesium. As for vitamin B12, it's also water-soluble and generally very safe, even in higher doses like 500 to 1,000 micrograms per day. If you have trouble absorbing B12 from food, which is common with age, supplements are a great option. But if you're taking B12 by injection or have a history of nerve issues, it's still worth checking your levels from time to time. Also, one small but important reminder. Avoid taking these vitamins with coffee or tea, especially within 1 to 2 hours. The tannins and caffeine can block how well your body absorbs nutrients. Water or juice is better. And finally, always let your doctor or pharmacist know what supplements you're taking, especially if you're on multiple prescriptions. It's the safest way to make sure everything works together. So if you've been feeling more tired, more unsteady, or just not quite like yourself, now you know it might not be just aging. It could be a simple deficiency in vitamin B1, D3, or B12. And the good news is, you can take control starting today. A few small changes in your routine can make a huge difference in your strength, your clarity, and your confidence. Don't wait for things to get worse. Talk to your doctor, check your levels, adjust your nutrition. Your legs, your brain, and your future self will thank you for it. And hey, if this helped you, or you know someone who needs to hear this, go ahead and like this video, share it with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe to Elderly Health Tips for more down-to-earth, science-based guidance to help you age strong, stay sharp, and live well every single day.